They say gardening is easier now with better tools, better chemicals, better techniques. But is it? Because somehow, plants are struggling more, soil feels lifeless, and people, maybe even you, are doing everything right and still failing. You water on time, you buy the recommended fertilizer, you spray when something looks off, and yet, something still isn't working. This used to be simple. Growing food wasn't confusing. It wasn't stressful. So what changed? Today, gardening feels like a science experiment. You're told you need special fertilizers for each stage, precise watering schedules down to the day, pest control for every tiny insect you see, soil mixes with complicated labels you barely understand. And when something goes wrong, you're told to do more, add more nutrients, spray more chemicals, fix more problems. But here's what no one tells you. The more you interfere, the more unstable your garden becomes. Research in soil science and ecology keeps pointing to the same truth. Natural systems are designed to balance themselves. When we override that balance, constantly adjusting, correcting, forcing outcomes, we don't make things better. We make them fragile. Think about it. Healthy soil isn't just dirt. It's alive with organisms, microbes, fungi, all working together in ways we can't fully see. But when we keep adding synthetic inputs, overwatering, or trying to control every variable, we interrupt that quiet system. And once that system is broken, your plants stop depending on the soil and start depending on you. That's when gardening becomes exhausting. That's when it feels like failure. But it's not. You're not failing at gardening. You've just been taught a version of gardening that fights against how nature actually works. And the more you try to follow it perfectly, the harder it becomes to succeed. Because the real problem isn't you. It's the complexity that replaced something that was once simple. And in the next part, we'll talk about what gardening used to look like, and why going back to those principles might be the breakthrough you've been looking for. Before all this, things actually worked better. Not because people knew more science, but because they respected what already worked. Gardeners didn't have shelves full of products, no endless bottles, no complicated labels, no constant fixing. They had something simpler, and strangely, more powerful. They worked with the soil, not against it. They understood that soil isn't something you control. It's something you support. So instead of feeding plants directly all the time, they fed the soil. They composted, returning food scraps, leaves, and organic matter back into the earth. Not as waste, but as nourishment. They rotated crops so the soil didn't get drained from the same demand over and over again. Different plants gave back different nutrients. They allowed nature to do what it was already designed to do. Some insects stayed, because not all bugs are enemies. Some actually protect your garden. Weeds weren't always seen as a crisis. Sometimes, they were signals telling you something about your soil. There was patience. There was observation. There was trust. And here's the part most people miss. Those gardens weren't perfect, but they were alive, balanced, resilient. They didn't collapse the moment something went slightly wrong, because everything was connected. Today, we call our methods modern, but if you look closely, many of these ideas aren't new at all. Composting, that's old. Crop rotation, that's ancient. Working with natural systems instead of forcing results, that's how it all started. What we now package as innovation is often just forgotten wisdom rebranded and sold back to us. And somewhere along the way, we traded simplicity for control. But control came with a cost. Because the more we tried to manage every detail, the less the system could manage itself. So here's the shift. What if your garden doesn't need more products? What if it needs less interference? What if success isn't about doing more, but about stepping back and allowing the right things to happen? This is where everything begins to change. Because once you stop fighting nature and start working with it, gardening becomes simpler again, calmer, more predictable in the ways that matter. And in the next part, you'll see why this old way didn't just work back then. It still works today, in ways most people overlook. This isn't just a nice idea. It's backed by what we're now discovering through research. In fields like regenerative agriculture, studies keep showing something surprising. When soil is left less disturbed, it actually becomes stronger on its own. Not weaker, not dependent, stronger. Because underneath your garden, where you can't see, there's an entire living system at work. The soil microbiome. Billions of tiny organisms, bacteria, fungi, microbes working together in quiet coordination, breaking down organic matter, releasing nutrients, protecting plant roots from disease. It's like a hidden support network, built into nature itself. And when that system is healthy, your plants don't struggle as much. They grow deeper roots. They access nutrients more efficiently. They become more resistant to stress, pests, and disease. But here's where things go wrong. When we overwater, we suffocate that system. When we over-fertilize, we disrupt the natural balance, forcing plants to rely on quick nutrients instead of building strength. When we overspray chemicals, we don't just kill pests, we often wipe out the beneficial organisms too. And once that invisible support system is damaged, your plants are left on their own. That's when you start chasing problems, fixing one issue after another, adding more, because something always seems off. But the problem isn't always what you see above the soil, it's what's been lost beneath it. Even agricultural research from universities has found a pattern. Gardens that rely less on synthetic inputs over time often develop more resilient plants. Not instantly, but gradually. Because resilience isn't something you pour from a bottle. It's something that builds from the ground up. And that changes how you see everything. Because it means your goal isn't just to grow plants. It's to rebuild a system, a living system, one that can support itself, if you allow it. So maybe the issue isn't that your garden is failing. Maybe it's that the system underneath it hasn't been given the chance to work. We forgot something important, something simple, but powerful. Nature already knows what it's doing. And when you stop interrupting it constantly, it starts to show you. You don't need to do more. You need to do less but do it better. Because the goal isn't to control your garden. It's to support a system that already knows how to grow. Start here. Water less often but water deeply. Instead of small, frequent watering that keeps roots shallow, give your plants a deeper soak. Then allow the soil to breathe. This encourages roots to grow downward stronger, more resilient. Add compost instead of relying on synthetic fertilizers. Compost doesn't just feed the plant, it feeds the entire soil system. Over time, this builds richness you don't have to keep replacing. Stop trying to kill every insect you see. Not all bugs are your enemies. Some protect your plants, others improve the soil. When you remove everything, you remove the balance too. Leave some plant matter behind. Dry leaves, small cuttings, organic scraps. Let them return to the soil. That's how nature recycles strength. Nothing is wasted. And most importantly, observe before you react. Not every yellow leaf is a crisis. Not every hole means destruction. Sometimes your garden is adjusting, not failing. Give it time to respond before you step in. Because every time you rush to fix something, you might interrupt something that was already correcting itself. Let the system rebuild. Slowly, quietly, naturally. And you'll start to notice something shift. Your garden won't feel like a constant problem to solve anymore. It will feel like something you're working with. You're not failing at gardening. You've just been taught to fight something that was never your enemy. The soil isn't broken. Nature isn't confused. It never was. We just stepped in too much, added too much, controlled too much, and in trying to force growth, we made it harder for growth to happen. But the good news is this: you don't have to start over completely. You just have to step back, enough for things to work again. Because beneath everything, beneath the soil, beneath the mistakes, the system is still there, waiting, ready to respond the moment you stop overwhelming it. And sometimes, the best way to move forward is to return to what has always worked. Simple, natural, proven over time. That's where real growth begins again.